Hey, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the exercise. Now let's debrief it together. So, first question to you. Did you take it longer in the first round or in the second round? I bet you were much faster in the second round. Actually, people are on average 30 to 40% faster in the second round when they work customer after customer compared to working on all customers simultaneously. What is the reason for that? Why are we all much faster in the second round? The answer is simple. In the first round, when we try to work on all customers simultaneously, we constantly have to switch our context, which means we go from writing numbers to writing letters to writing Roman numbers, and then all the way back. Whereas in the second round, we basically get into a flow. We stay in one system, we finish that system, and then we move to the next system. So what I want you to remember from this, one key insight, is context switching has its cost. Doesn't mean that we completely avoid it. If we can, we should. But if we can't, we can still use a lot of the principles that we will be exploring in this video and in the next one where I will introduce Kanban as a tool to you. So now let's look together at the cost of context switching. Gerald Weinberg did a lot of studies and a lot of research around this. He did research looking at various industries and various jobs where he looked at what is the percentage of productive time depending on the number of simultaneous tasks that we work on. What would be your guess? What percentage of productive time do we have if we work on one task and one task only? If you're like most people, you would guess like, 90, 95%, maybe even 100. But that's not the case. Because even if we work on one thing and one thing only, we usually get interrupted. Interrupted through breaks that we take, right? Going to the bathroom and coming back. We get interrupted by going to lunch and coming back. We get interrupted by taking up the phone. We get interrupted by checking our emails. All of those interruptions are also context switchings. And every time we come back to the actual task we want to do, we need to get back into the mode again. My favorite and very simple example for this is, imagine you're writing a longer email. So you've written 2, 3, maybe 4 paragraphs, and then a colleague comes to you, tips on your shoulders, of course, pre-COVID. You turn back, you talk to them, and then you get back to your email. What's the first thing you do? You start rereading that email, right? Or maybe even the last chapter. So context switching even happens if we have only one thing and one thing only. Now let's go to 2 tasks that we work on simultaneously. What would be your guess? What percentage of productive work time do we get if we work on 2 things simultaneously? The number is around 80%. So given the 85% we had with one task, this is just a drop of 5%. After all the exercises that we ran, you might have assumed that that drop is much more significant. Now the reason behind this is again simple. If you're working on one task and one task only, part of those initial 15% productivity that you lose are also dependencies. So imagine you're working on one thing and then you have a dependency to one of your colleagues. While you're waiting your colleagues to finish this, there's nothing you can work, so you're losing productive work time. Whereas if you're working on 2 things, while you're waiting for your colleague to finish the work on the first piece, you can work on the second piece of work, right? So you don't lose that much productive work time. But in average, still, you are better doing one thing at a time than working on 2 things simultaneously. Once we move to 3 tasks simultaneously, we end up with a 30 to 40% drop in terms of productive work time. That's what we actually experienced in the exercise we just ran, right? We had 3 different customers and they all wanted something different from us. And the more tasks you add, the more significant the drop with regards to your productivity. Now don't think that people working on multiple things are less busy. This is not the number of hours they work. This is the percentage of productive work time they have. So working on 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 tasks simultaneously might result in us being much more busy but much less productive. Maybe you've had one of those days where you jump from one meeting to another and then you come back home and your spouse or partner asks you, "Honey, how was your day? Did you get a lot of work done?" And your response is, "It was super stressful, I was super busy, but I didn't get anything done." So The most important insight here is context switching has its cost. If we go from one customer to the other at the same time, we will significantly lose productivity. So what is an alternative? And why do we do this in the first place? So this goes all back to our assumptions. Let's explore this a bit deeper. We have 3 customers, and each of them wants something from us, ideally as soon as possible. So our instinct is to start working on each of those customers as soon as possible. Because our assumptions are, the sooner we start working on something, the sooner we finish something, right? So let's explore this together. Some of you might have had a number around 60 seconds in your first round. And assuming a 33% productivity increase, you had around 40 seconds in your second round. So let's go through the first round. It takes you 60 seconds to finish all 3 customers. You probably start with customer 1 at second number 1. You move then on to customer 2, second 2, and then customer 3, second 3. You finish customer 3 at 60 seconds, customer 2 at 59 seconds, and customer 3 at 58 seconds. That's your first round. Now let's go to our second round. Again, let's assume you don't need 40 seconds, but you need 60 seconds because you're the perfect multitasker. Again, you start with the first customer, second 1, but instead of moving on to customer 2, you finish customer 1. So after 20 seconds, a third of the time, you're done with the first customer. Then you move on to customer 2. This is second 21. You finish that one after another 20 seconds, so at second 40, and then with second 41, you go to the last customer, customer 3, finish them at 60 seconds. Again, remember, probably you finished customer 3 at 40 seconds, which would mean you finish customer 1 after 13 and customer 2 after 26 or 27 seconds. So going back to our assumption, we start something earlier, we finish something earlier, we can quickly see this is not the case. In our first round, we started with customer 2 at second number 2, and we finished customer 2 after 59 seconds. In our second round, we started with customer 2, even under the assumption of being perfect multitaskers, at second 21, and we finished at second 40. And in reality, it would have been second 14, and we finish at 36 seconds. So you can see the assumption of starting something earlier and finishing it earlier is not true, especially once you start moving or once you start working on multiple things simultaneously. So key insights here. Context switching has its cost, and we do it under the wrong assumptions. If we really want to deliver value to customers fast, we'd better prioritize and we'd better focus on delivering one customer after the other instead of working on all of them simultaneously. In our next section of this module, we will look at Kanban as a tool that can help us do this in a systematic and very visual fashion.